Value of Wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at Stockton Con.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of Stockton Con. The Value of Wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, man, shout out to Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. We gonna shut the shit down. Love and respect, all right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank
Oh, you didn't know? Well, you better get ready because we're here to party. It's Monday, and we've had some good wrestling to carry us over from Saturday into Monday. We didn't have another company in the middle to ruin it all. It's been a damn good weekend. We had a great Backlash, and here we are for Monday Night Raw. We're right here on the Value of Wrestling live on YouTube. We are here to break down everything that came down on Monday Night Raw. We're going to talk about the fallout from Backlash and the King and the Queen of the Ring tournament. I swear I can talk. WWE has presented this as being something very important this year, setting up a great tournament that's going to battle through 8 men on Raw, 8 men on SmackDown. They're eventually going to dwindle down to 1 SmackDown, 1 Raw guy, and I guess we're going to get a King and the Queen out of the ring out of all of that. I'm the Big Time. This is the Value Wrestling. This is your Raw post-show review. I'm joined today with my co-host, the one, the only, Mr. Paulus Clarke. Say hello, good sir.
Good evening, everyone.
He can talk too, I promise.
Jeez.
Well, let's get a little house cleaning out of the way. There's a couple things we want to talk about. We always want to talk about our partners. One of our big partners is the Goldmine on Facebook. Their link is in the description below. If you're looking for Funkos, whether they're wrestling Funko Pops or any other Funko Pops that you're searching for, those ones that are missing from your collection, even those hard to find ones, go hit that link. Go to the Facebook group there. Sign up. Tell them what pops you're looking for. They're going to help you find those hard to find missing pops, those rare to discover pops. They're going to be key. So check out the Goldmine. Proud to be partners with them. The Goldmine Facebook. Check them out. And Of course, we want to give a big shout out to our boy. We saw him at the beginning in the intro there. You saw Jacob fall too, and of course, AJ Kirsch, the voice of Stockton Con, or the voice of the voice of the voice of many things. Yes, AJ Kirsch has posted on X. If you haven't seen it, you can go to the description below. But what is going on? AJ Kirsch has joined Muscle Fitness for Mr. Health and Fitness competition to raise money for Be Positive Foundation, I believe. It's a nonprofit that funds childhood cancer research and provides financial assistance to families of kids with cancer. You can go to the link below and help vote for him, make a donation. The more votes, the more donations he gets, the higher he climbs up the ladder in this competition. AJ Kirsch has posted this on X, and we want to give him a big shout out and support him in this. He's a dear friend to the Value of Wrestling, so we want to make sure you know it's in our description below. You can check it out. His purpose is he wants to spread the idea that prioritizing our health and fitness not only improves our lives, but the lives of the people around us. AJ Kirsch, a proud friend of the Value of Wrestling. We are working very closely to get him on the channel for a great interview. We love AJ. We support everything he does, and this is a great opportunity for you, part of the Value Wrestling family, or anybody watching the show, to help support AJ Kirsch in the Mr. Health and Fitness competition. Vote him number one. You can get more details. Click that link. Follow all the information there, and you can get more details. We are working on to get a few more details, and hopefully once we get those details in, we can tell you more about what everything's going on. But we want you to know right now that AJ Kirsch is involved in this competition, and we want to support him, and we would want you to go check it out. You can vote for him for free. You don't have to donate, but if you can, he is working to donate funds to a great cause, childhood cancer. I mean, who can't help want to donate funds to ending childhood cancer and helping families whose children are facing cancer through this time of needs, because it's definitely something that takes families away from everything they do. It's much easier when these parents don't have to worry about paying bills or taking care of everyday life, so they can focus completely on getting their child healthy, well, and back to living a most normal life as possible. So definitely check that out. Monday Night Raw. Wow. Monday Night Raw came out cooking. Monday Night Raw came out to be a show of shows. We didn't know what we were going to get. I know a lot of people were being disappointed. Oh, it's boring. The draft was boring. Everything after Mania is boring. This stuff is boring. Well, they started this show off hot, heavy, and exciting. We started off with Judgment Day in the ring. Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough. Damian Priest wants to speak about what went down with Judgment Day. Finn Balor says they went over this 100 times. They apologized and meant it. They are sorry. Priest says they are good, but he ain't talking about this. It's what happened after the match. He needs everyone to know and wants to do this publicly. What happened after that was on him. He lost his cool. They were just trying to help, and he is sorry. He appreciates both of them. The three of them hug with Dominic in the back, and he's not left out. And it's back to business, as Priest says Priest, as they are the most dominant faction, and Finn Balor is the next king of the ring. Balor laughs off Drew not being cleared, meaning he gets a bye. This means the first step is the Prince becoming a king. Love the fact that they're starting to talk about Prince Balor or Prince Devitt, throwing, the more they talk about it, the more they're talking about the history of Finn Balor and Prince Devitt from New Japan Pro Wrestling, the original leader of Bullet Club. It's guys to through that throwback, and he wants Samantha to introduce him as such, but then he's interrupted by Pierce, and Pierce announced that just because Drew isn't here doesn't mean Finn Balor gets a bye. Tells Judgment Day to clear the ring because Finn Balor is going to face this man, and out comes the Yeeter of Worlds, Jey Uso. And I have to say, this crowd was definitely lively. I think they tried to build up some solid competition in my brain just farted. Some competition for the French audience by being there, and fudge, my brain just went fart. But they were trying to compete with the French audience over there when Jey Uso came out. They were definitely there. This crowd was a little more excited than we've seen crowds in America in a long, long time. So our opening match is a first round match for the King of the Ring. This is not a qualifying match for the King of the Ring. This is the actual King of the Ring tournament. They are breaking down. There are 4 matches for Raw in the men and 4 that'll be presented on SmackDown. they will shrink down to, we got down to the final. We still have one more match. Rey Mysterio and Kofi Kingston will take place next week. Then we'll be down to the final 4 for Raw. They will break down to 2, and then we will have one man representing Raw, one man representing SmackDown. That I believe they'll go to the King of the Ring in Saudi Arabia, and whoever wins will be crowned the King of the Ring, and we'll see the same thing break down for the women. But we open this match hot and heavy. Jey Uso versus Finn Balor. Should have been Drew McIntyre, but Drew McIntyre elbow after he brought it up to the attention. He's not medically cleared. We get a solid match. Eventually, Drew McIntyre's here. He distracts long enough for Finn Balor to sneak a hit in, but Jey rebounds off the ropes and hits a spear for a cover for 1, 2, 3. This match went 13 minutes, 35 seconds, and was a solid showing. A good match between Jey Uso and Finn Balor. They both brought a lot of attention to the opening match of this tournament, setting the pace not only for Raw tonight, but setting the pace for what this tournament should feel like and what it is going to feel like. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on Jey Uso versus Finn Balor? It was an amazing match. The fans definitely seemed excited about it.
And there's complete reason why that is, because you have main event Jey Uso. You have the first Universal Champion Finn Balor. Sometimes I wonder, though, with that gesture, are you really supposed to say his tagline? Or is that his way of saying you can bow down and toss salad? Of course, granted, he's not a heel, so he's not actually saying that. But
I think it was like, bow down and recognize the new tribal chief. Would be a better circumstance. But hey, I think it's a lot of fun. The crowd's definitely getting behind it. Jey Uso's gone from a tag team guy to a main eventer. My only concern is how are they going to bring him back into the bloodline without damaging everything he's done? Because we know that it seems like what they're going to do is Solo, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Leo versus Roman Reigns and Jimmy and Jey Uso is eventually going to have to be somewhere involved in this. Jey Uso, I mean, he's such a main eventer. It really feels, I think it'll feel kind of weird to see him back in the tag team. It'll be nice and essential in the storyline, but I wonder how they're going to write him back into that storyline.
that depends on how they reconcile. How do
Yes.
they show that? But you're absolutely right. It'll be interesting to see what they do to make that happen.
It's got to be a real balance because, I mean, he's huge. He's made it to the main event. He's not just main event Jey Uso by name. He is really, I mean, coming out of France, you can't look at this man anything less than going, okay, he's almost ready to be there.
Races we are.
I know. Anyways, we see Ivy Nile and Zoe Starks each training for their upcoming match, and then we see the arrival of Becky Lynch. We are then in the back where we have Adam Pearce talking to Drew about being his fault for admitting publicly his arm was having problems. Drew hops into a really fancy car and drives off, and in an old classic car, here comes CM Punk. He pulls up. He asks Pearce where Drew is. Pearce tells him he's just left. Asks for his music because he's got something to say. We follow him from Gorilla, where he runs into Chad Gable with the Alpha Academy. He kind of gives he kind of gives a fist bump to Chad Gable, a handshake type of thing. But he does tell Chad Gable in kind of a certain way, keep it cool, calm down, don't. So very interesting segment there. I don't know if that leads into anything or if that was just who happened to be there in that moment. Anyway, Punk heads to the ring. He shows some love to Samantha and then hops into the ring, and it's story time. He's here, and he's saying, what would you want to talk about? But that's somebody else's stick, so he's going to go for story time. Like, we haven't heard that one before, but I think he did it a little better than the guy who does it in another place that we're not going to talk about. Anyways, after he escaped WWE...
That company.
After escaping WWE... After escaping WWE headquarters, CM Punk, after he finished up the pre-show for Backlash, went to change out of his suit and the clothes and got locked in to WWE headquarters, where he spent most of the weekend, it looks like, touring around and doing a lot of things, from working out in the gym, changing the name on Bruce Pritchard's door to Jim Herd, punching Andre the Giant statue in the nuts and the Undertaker statue in the nuts, drawing a mustache on Bayley, amongst other things, showing that there are numerous fridge, explaining to people wonder how he was staying, how he was keeping his thirst down, his hunger. He was walking around showing the multiple fridges that are in this building. But yes, at one point he found Bruce Pritchard's office It's an office with a lot of old school Bruce Pritchard photos, a lot of brother love photos, and he walked in there and he changed the name. Bruce Pritchard. He pulled out a piece of paper from the printer in Bruce Pritchard's office, I assume, and wrote Jim Hurd and stuck it where Bruce Pritchard's name was. So, yes, and if you need to know that throwback.
Old school shot.
Yes, it is. It's old, but it's good. Punk tried to run out of the building, but hey, Punk realized that Raw was in Hartford. It wasn't too far away, so he is here. He drove here to join the crowd, but he also wanted to get in a fight with Drew. Too bad, though, because he left the building. Last week, he told Drew he could do his business in a shorter amount of time than he was champion, 5 minutes, 46 seconds, as he talks with Pat McAfee again. Since he came to pick a fight and since he left, what if today we go overtime? What if he stays long enough for Drew to come back? If Drew is not a coward, he will turn around and come back to this building and catch the beating that he deserves. He then tells everybody, including Pat McAfee, to tweet Drew, and it blew up all over the internet. I mean, I did it for us. I told Drew, you better turn around and go back. Punk's there. Some of the biggest names in wrestling. Grimm did it. Several people were tweeting out to Drew McIntyre to turn around. Even Pat McAfee, live on air, tweeted Drew McIntyre to come back to the show. Punk says we will hold this show hostage. He will hold this show hostage. I promise I can talk. Just bear with me. We will get there. He asked what we will want to talk about, but that's someone else's deal, so he's going to tell us a story. It's story time with good old Uncle CM Punk. Yeah. Back in the Rumble, Drew DDT'd him so hard that he overcompensated the work on his arm, and he was heartbroken. He thought Drew ruined his Mania moment. He had a good cry about it, a great surgery, and realized Drew didn't ruin anything. If anything, he postponed it. Maybe delayed it is a better word. In baseball, they call him a five-tool player. He can do it all day. CM Punk, a five-tool player. Drew, just a tool. Great moment there. A great little dig into Drew. And a better one came a little bit later, which was a little dig in a whole different direction, which was awesome to hear for once. We'll see if we get to that. For weeks that turned into months, he had to tune into the show and listen to Drew run his mouth about how he is proud that he injured. He prayed for this. He picked a fight, a personal one, with the pettiest man on the roster, maybe even on earth. He said last week he made Drew's life a living hell, but he's bitching and complaining went from he injured CM Punk to CM Punk ruined his Mania, his title aspirations, and broke his elbow. He is a hater, hates the way he looks, talks, and walks. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. Drew is a choke artist, just not like Punk is. And then Pat McAfee goes, guillotine. And you're like, oh, they're going to throw shade on that. And everybody on the internet scene, everybody in the IWC is going to get upset because WWE is taking shots at AEW here because they are talking about the guillotine choke. Wah, wah, cry me a river. He prayed for this. Punk is the unforgiving consequences. Punk is the unforgiving consequence to his actions. He broke Drew's elbow. The next time he sees him, he'll break his face, then his heart. All this praying he does. He doesn't know if Drew is a God-fearing man. There's one thing that is for sure that he fears, and that is CM Punk. CM Punk's music hits. Then another great line. CM Punk says something about being in Glasgow. He's going to jump out of a thing of haggis and break Drew's face, and that was a great moment. That was awesome, great stuff. CM Punk here just nailing some of the great lines, and yeah, very, very entertaining, very, very good stuff. I love the he's a choke artist, but not like me. And then Pat McAfee going guillotine. This was just hilarious. If you're gonna get your panties in a wad over what that entails, if you're going to get upset over past news, whatever, AEW still wants to use it to sell their story. So if Punk's going to throw a little knock into that direction, I don't give a damn. And Punk didn't even really like. It was more Pat McAfee going directly for it when Punk was just kind of overtly going for it. What did you think of this segment, Mr. Clarke?
Man, CM Punk, you knew it was going to be good. You give him a microphone, he's going to entertain.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
To the point where this was tonight, but I enjoy what him and Big E do on the kickoff panels.
Oh yeah, him and Big E together are hilarious. They're just the best entertaining thing. Like we need to put them on like NXT as the broadcast journalists. I mean, they need to call NXT matches. I mean, they need to be calling speed. That's what they need to be doing. Big E and CM Punk calling speed matches.
Just back and forth repertoire. Boom, 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 boom. Yep.
Anyway, speaking of speed, the speed champion Ricochet is backstage with Kathy. He's asked about Ilya Dragunov tonight. He says this is King of the Ring and this is his chance. Up walks Braun Strowman. Kathy asked why he interjected last week. Braun says he can't stand bullies. And this is about Ricochet, though. Remember everyone why they call him King Ricochet. Good to see Braun Strowman back. Good to see him interacting with his old friend Ricochet. They were teaming up before Braun Strowman went off on injury. The Queen of the Ring tournament, the first round, we get Io Sky versus Natalya. This is a hard one because you want to see Io Sky come back, but Natalya has a lot of rich history with the King of the Ring tournament, or this is the Queen of the Ring tournament. Sorry, this is the Queen of the Ring tournament match. But Natalya has a lot of history with the King of the Ring, as both her uncles, yes, her uncles, Uncle Brett and Uncle Owen, were King of the Rings. Now, somebody posted earlier on Twitter what was the best King of the Ring ever since the King of the Ring tournament existed, and only started when Bret Hart in that tournament. But that also means that we're throwing out one of the original King of the Rings. We're talking about I forget who. The WWE mentioned one of them tonight, but Harley Race was King of. Yeah, Don Morocco was King of the Ring. Harley Race was King of the Ring. Hacksaw Jim Duggan was King of the Ring. Even Haku, we had King Haku for a while. They left this guy out. They left those four guys out, but they covered everybody into the modern era. And I'm like, what? Like, no, you want to talk about the Kings? And of course, if you're going to talk about the King of the Ring tournament and people winning the King of the Ring, now Harley Race had it and he dropped it, which dropped to Haku and Duggan. Haku dropped it to Duggan, and Duggan eventually dropped it to the greatest king in WWE. And that would have been, oh great, why are we doing this stuff? Okay, thank you. We're talking about the greatest king. Oh yeah, the Macho King Randy Savage. Oh yeah. So yeah, don't start talking about King of the Rings if you're not going to start talking about King Savage. That is for sure. Anyways, we got a good solid match between Io Sky and Natalya. Dakota and the rest of the Damage Control were out there. Dakota definitely caught a distraction from the apron. Io shoots Natalie into the corner back first. Io rushes the corner, running knees. She drags Natalya away, steps on the stomach, hops to the top rope, moonsault. 1, 2, 3. This match was a good solid match. Went 10 minutes, 21 seconds. Definitely can't wait to see what we're going to see going forward. With Io Sky. Couldn't, I think some people might have wanted to see Natalya in here, but I mean, Io Sky was probably the right person at this time for this.
At this time, I agree with you. Io Sky was the right choice, but damn, Natty looked good tonight. I mean,
yes, she did. Yes.
But especially in the ring.
She definitely got the shine tonight. We can't wait to see how this tournament goes forward. But Ayo coming out the big winner there. Afterwards, Dakota Kai has a message for a few women. She tells Jade and Bianca to enjoy the titles while they can, and tells Becky that when she is done with the charity case that is Liv Morgan, they're coming for her too. We get a video package, Ilya Dragunov, which was a very impressive video package, and we get the next King of the Ring first round match. Ricochet versus Ilya Dragunov, and boy, oh boy, did these two men bring it to a level. This is a solid match. I mean, I don't know what you can say about this match. Ricochet and Ilya Dragunov, take my money. You can take my money all day. We got chops in the corner. We got flip. We got flying this way. I mean, you just got all this stuff. Ricochet recoils. He covers. We get a 1-2. No. Ricochet to the top rope. Ileana is up, slap to the face. He walks up, locks up, superplex. Ileana flips off of it and running H-bomb. Dragunov wins. And this match went 16 minutes, 31 seconds. This is definitely one of those 4-star matches. This was a great, great match. Ricochet and Ileana Dragunov. Afterwards, Dragunov grabs Ricochet, pulls him to his feet, and they stand and shake hands. Ilya Dragunov just made his name well known on the roster tonight for his his debut match here, to really solidify his continuing presence on the WWE roster. Him and Ricochet tore down the house. They brought it. Man, imagine these two wrestling for the speed title in 3 minutes. What type of match would they have in 3 minutes when we've just seen what they can do in 16 minutes, 31 seconds? This was damn good, and I don't think you can argue about any of it. I mean, this was just a match that probably a lot of high expectations here. We just didn't know if WWE would let them go. WWE, we're in a new era. We're in a new era. WWE, let these fools go. I'm sorry. You want to talk about the place the best wrestle? We're getting wrestling on WWE TV, like real impressive wrestling, and we got a lot of it tonight. So I can't wait to hear the people cry about not getting enough wrestling on WWE TV after tonight.
When this match was announced, I wasn't really sure who I was rooting for, because to me, Ricochet from the Redacted era is still being rebuilt, and he has been getting wins, but he's just not where he should be compared to when he was on the indie scene. He doesn't have the same prestige yet.
Yeah.
On the flip side, you have Dragunov, who just came to the main roster, so he needs to look good as well.
Yes.
So I just watching this match, I was like, I didn't know who was really going to root for. But I think ultimately the right guy went over, the right guy won. But man, these guys can have match after match and probably not be boring. They could probably just continually come up with stuff. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
You know what Dragunov could do in NXT. Now that he's on the main roster, I have every confidence. The fact that he was able to showcase what he can do in the time that he was allotted tonight. Greatness is coming. That's all I can say.
Yeah, this was a solid match. Can't wait to see what we get next. Backstage, Sheamus is looking dapper. He says he has gone under the knife numerous times just to get back in the ring. Just to be clear, he does not like Gunther. Can you imagine if he was King Unbearable? At Clash, they had a banger. At Mania, they had a banger. Tonight, he'll finally kick his arse, and he will win and be called the High King. Sheamus looking for his second King of the Ring tournament win. Sheamus was once a King of the Ring winner. From there, we get the next Queen of the Ring first round match. Zoe Starks versus Ivy Nile. And both these women had a good solid showing. Not the prettiest of match, but it was a good solid showing. Zoe stepped forward and slipped under, then pulls Zoe out, and she eats the buckle. Inverted suplex, Z360 cover. Zoe Starks with a big win. This was a shorter of all the matches, 5 minutes, 18 seconds. Zoe Starks and Ivy Nile. Good, not great, not perfect, but hey, you had a good solid match here. Can't wait to see these two women develop and grow as they get used more. That's the thing that we're missing. We need these two women to get used more to get that repetition in.
Absolutely, but of the two, I like Zoe a lot better. Like, I think Ivy and I will get there. But, she, like you said, she needs more reps.
R-Truth is backstage saying he has a good idea for his next tag team title match. He wants champion versus champion and calls in Dan Hurley. Miz walks up and says they can't face Yukon. Truth says, Coach, here is part of a small wrestling promotion called the NCAA. They the Dogs. Coach says, no, they are the Huskies. Miz says they can't fight them. Truth says, a sport is a sport, and in trying times like these, they now all agree. Okay. I can't read that sentence, sorry. In trying times like these, they and all agree. I don't know what we were going for. They all agree. Yeah. Miz says he'll get back to Pierce about their next defense. Truth says bye to Pierce. In comes Braun Breaker. Pierce asks him what he can do for Braun. Braun wants to know why he is not in the King of the Ring tournament. Pierce says join him in the office and they'll talk about it. Surprising that Braun Breaker didn't get into this tournament, but maybe you need to keep him safe. Not too many of these people can be in this tournament because it's hard for somebody like Braun Breaker that you're just starting to build up, starting to get off. I don't know if you want him in a tournament. A loss could hurt him and
exactly
could be dangerous. And I don't know if you want Braun Breaker versus Gunther in the finals of the Raw show be a great match, granted, but you don't want either man to win or will lose the momentum they have. So Braun Breaker not being in the tournament, it's not a bad thing. Backstage Judgment Day is talking about their shortcomings. Priest tells JD that he's going to be taking on a Braun Strowman. Here comes Dom and Carlito. Priest has not forgotten about what he did a year ago. Carlito tells Priest that they could help each other. Priest wants him out of here. Dom tells Carlito Priest will come around and to get him out of here. Shockingly, we get a Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed match. Gable starts off hot, complete with a huge German to Reed into a pin for 2. Gable to the top rope. He dives off with a headbutt, but Reed rolls out of the way and hits a senton on the Gable. Reed to the top rope. Gable is up, though. He locks up and hits a rough-looking suplex, and Sami Zayn comes flying through the crowd. Got to check Chad Gable. This match is thrown out at 1 minute, 39 seconds. Winner by DQ is Chad Gable. Sami goes after Reed with kicks in the corner. He turns to Gable, but Gable rolls out of the ring. Sami turns back to Reed, sends him out of the ring, and in comes Gable to hit him with a surprise German. Gable drops the straps. He turns it into an exploder. Sami runs for Sami's into an exploder. Sami runs for the hula kick, but Reed is back in for a Yurganagi. 1 for Gable. We follow Reed from the ring to the back where Pierce is waiting for him, asking Reed what his excuse is. Reed doesn't care about Chad or Sami. He only cares about the title. This is business for him. If Pierce wants control, he knows what he's got to do. Great match. I guess we're going to continue. This must be what we're going to see in Saudi Arabia at the King and Queen of the Ring event. Yep. Chad Gable, Bronson Reed, and Sami Zayn for that Intercontinental title. Is definitely what I'm feeling we're going to build towards here. So a good little match. Nothing majorly important here. You can't really set the match. It was more about building storylines than actually having a match.
There's nothing to add.
Lyra Valkyrie video package. I'm glad we're getting a video package of all these new upcoming stars, so at least give them a flavor of who they are so the main roster can understand who they are. Gunther gets the old promo in front of a steel cage, and that automatically means he's winning. I don't know if that automatically means he's winning, but Gunther is definitely a top pick across the board to be your next king of the ring.
You know about these video packages, how come the other company doesn't know how to do those?
You're supposed to Google it.
That's right.
Tony Khan doesn't have time to do that. He says that in this modern age, you're able to go find out the information. So he shouldn't have to tell us who these people are. We should be able to go Google it and find out who these people are. So instead of building stars up in your company and telling us who they are or giving us their history or giving us a reason to go Google it, Tony Khan just assumes that we're going to do the legwork on our own.
And you wonder why WWE is positioned at number 1 globally.
Becky Lynch is here to have a sit-down interview with Michael Cole. They both sit in the ring, and Cole pulls up a pic of her at the Kentucky Derby where she's wearing a rather unique hat. And we're attacking Michael Cole, not Adam Cole. No relation. Let's just make that a fact. Cole brings up the tournament and the draft and asks her who she is looking forward to facing in the future. She says she feels the winds have changed and welcomes those who want to slap her in the face. She came to Raw 9 years ago. She wanted to make a change and make a difference, and she feels the energy from the new draftees. We got Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, and Lyra. Becky calls Lyra the most gifted competitor. She loves this more than anything. She's got that fighting Irish spirit. Cole brings up Zelina. Becky calls her hungry and says she has the passion. Cole brings up this past month where she lost the title at Mania to Rhea, then won the title. Cole brings up her strep throat, and Becky says no, she will not make excuses. Thankfully, Liv Morgan is here to interrupt. She is over this and being overlooked and underestimated. She is a Money in the Bank winner, former women's champion, multi-time former tag team champion, beat Nia Jax last week, and this is the one who took out Rhea Ripley. You're welcome. After all that, the fact that she gets zero respect from Becky blows her mind. How about the title match Becky promised her? Becky says in 3 weeks she's got it at the King of the Ring tournament. Of all of the things Liv has done, she's never beat Becky. Liv is glad she brought that up. She finally figured out what she's been missing all along, purpose. Now that she's got it, she can beat Becky. Her purpose is getting revenge on Rhea Ripley, taking everything she loves and becoming champion. And Damage Control has heard enough, and out comes Damage Control. Dakota Kai takes over Liv Morgan, getting a title shot she didn't earn, and that's fine. Meanwhile, they have the tournament on lock. Io made it to the second round, and she'll do the same. They figure they'll come out to remind them who really runs Raw. Becky and Liv kick some chairs away as Damage Control hop on the apron. They look to fight as a team, but Liv rolls out of the ring, leaves Becky to fend for herself, saying this isn't for her. And I'm stuck on this screen. Come on. Can't get to the rest of my notes. Why are we doing this? Okay, went away. Okay, give me a second here. Let me get back to these notes. But we had a great promo package here between Becky, Liv Morgan, Damage Control, and the rest of all of this. What were your thoughts on this, Mr. Clarke?
It's interesting to see, first of all, the continued story with Liv Morgan on how they're actually telling it. They were like, we could say, yeah, we want to see her do stuff, but seeing it actually play out is kind of nice. Damage Control is, at this point, Damage Control. I don't have a lot of expectations for them, but that's just not because I think that I'm not souring on them. I'm just kind of like here for the ride. I'm here for it to see what happens.
Yeah, we need to see what they're going to do to bounce back and recover, definitely. All right, let's get back into
to me by the end of this promo section that Lyra Valkyrie came down to help Becky Lynch, just considering that they kind of have a mutual respect since their time, battling over the NXT title.
Yes, because Liv Morgan rolled out, Damage Control's on the attack. They beat down Becky in the middle of the ring, and it's brought out Lyra Valkyrie, who runs down. She gives Liv the old what the face and runs in to clear out the ring, assisting Becky Lynch. Good solid promo. Becky, Liv will be a great match at the King and the Queen ring tournament in Saudi Arabia. Can't wait to see that. Sami Zayn is backstage with Jackie where he is pissed off. He is over Gable, but apparently that is not done. Then there is Reed, and he is juggling both. There's only one way to end this triple threat match. It's a triple threat match at King of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. He got knocked down tonight, and he will a million more times. But when the pressure is on, is when he is at his best. He will walk out still the Intercontinental Champion.
Translation: the heat is on.
But we're getting several matches going in already for a pay-per-view at the end of the month. We got less than 20 days now to get to that pay-per-view event. But WWE is definitely giving us matches and getting us ready for this next pay-per-view coming out of Saudi Arabia. So, got to be happy with that. Then we get the next for
having an idea.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say at the footnote, having an idea where we're going is always a nice thing. We don't need to have every single piece per se, but just knowing like here's the general direction, here's the story that we're trying to build to get to this point, to this chapter, if you will.
Yes. The next round of the next first round match for the Queen of the Ring tournament, Lyra Valkyrie versus Dakota Kai. What a match they had here. Kai grabs the head, fireman's to Lyra, tries for a finishing kick, but Lyra lands on her feet, catches a kick. Dakota with a scorpion kick to Kai, but Lyra ducks under a second kick, hits the Nightwing for the pin. 1, 2, 3. At one point, Lyra Valkyrie was hanging over the ropes, and Dakota Kai went up on the ropes and stomped her head into the mat. These two women had a good match, I thought. Went 8 minutes, 47 seconds. I thought it was beautiful. Dakota Kai, Lyra Valkyrie, definitely showing us what the women's division of the future is going to look like.
For sure.
Can't be mad here. This is a great match. Lyra Valkyrie, Dakota Kai. Can't wait to see these women really light up. Glad to see they're building Dakota Kai to possibly be in the main event title picture here. Who knows? She may be the next one to carry a women's championship. What happens if Dakota Kai becomes the women's champion, and how does that make Io Sky and the rest of Damage Control feel?
That's a good question, because Io Sky is still looked upon, I think, as in the women's division, a main eventer. Dakota Kai is on the upcome. She's on the uprise. So at some point, whether it's through mutual respect or just general competition, they are going to have to face each other at some point down the line.
Kofi Kingston has a promo to cut in his locker room. He brings up how this was supposed to be Woods' return to the throne, but Gunther took him out from that. Kofi knows that if Gunther advances, he can't wait to face him, but first he's got to get through one of the greatest of all times. Kofi looked up to him growing up, but as much as he loves, he's got to put him down, as if his name was Kendrick Lamar. He's got to win this tournament for Woods, and Kofi Kingston will take on Rey Mysterio next week on Raw as another first-round qualifying match to continue on to this. Kofi Kingston giving us a great promo. We haven't seen some real straight Kofi promos in a long time. Can't wait to see Kofi Kingston and Rey Mysterio lock it up on Raw next week. Of course, whoever wins that match will get to build the winner of our very next match. The main event for the night. And what a banger this turned out to be. I mean, this match was insane. Insane. I mean, if you wanted wrestling, WWE brought you wrestling tonight. And the main event, the King of the Ring first round match, Sheamus versus Gunther, Lulu Kaiser at ringside. These two boys just beat the snot out of each other. Yes, 21 minutes, 4.5-star match. I definitely agree on all those terms. Gunther drags Sheamus to the center. He locks back in the half Boston Crab, sits fully down on that leg. Sheamus is trying to pull himself to the bottom rope. Sheamus eventually gives up, taps out. Gunther is your winner. Gunther is moving on in the tournament. But good God, him and Sheamus had a barn burner, tear down the house. We saw Ricochet and Ilya Dragunov bring you a hell of a match. Sheamus and Gunther beating the snot out of each other, taking moves. Sheamus hit bro kicks. Sheamus hit the Celtic Cross. These two boys were all over the place. Flies off the top rope, missing these moves, hitting these moves. They beat the snot out of each other. The big story, Sheamus hurting his knee earlier in the match, and Gunther working over that leg little by little by little, and Sheamus trying to fight back with an injured knee. What a great story here. But in the end, I mean, this was a solid classic match between these two big boys. These two guys are great. We've seen it before, but they brought it for tonight. I mean, it was a knockout. You almost could have believed that Sheamus might have been Gunther. There was moments in there that I was actually going to get shocked that Sheamus was going to beat Gunther, when Gunther feels like the number one, guy, the guy that should be the king of the ring. This is built for him, but Sheamus came near him close. In their storytelling tonight to make you go, wait a minute, is Sheamus going to pull this out? Sheamus had some just amazing knocking, just beaten, worn out, crawling across the ring to get a pin, hit a bro kick with his injured knee. Both men were down. Sheamus had to crawl over to get the pin and only got a 2. Gunther eventually turned it around in that half crab, and Gunther did the right thing in the half crab, and he sat down. I mean, he sat down on that half crab and twisted it. It was a beautiful sight. Gunther wins. Gunther continues to show you why he is Gunther, why he is the one that probably should be winning this King of the Ring. I don't know. There's a lot of guys in here that you could give the King of the Ring tournament. I mean, Jey Uso could win this tournament, and I'd be okay with that. Ilya Dragunov could come up and win this tournament, and I could accept that because, I mean, why not make the hottest commodity coming off of NXT and the WWE the King of the Ring? That could be a hotter deal. So, I mean, all the men that are in this tournament right now that have advanced are definitely people that I could see winning this King of the Ring. I have a feeling Kofi will probably get past Rey Mysterio next week, and he'll continue on to face Gunther. But, I mean, everybody who's in this tournament right now, I don't think, for the first time in a long time in a King of the Ring tournament, we're not getting somebody versus a low-card guy. We're not getting somebody we're like, okay, we know who's going to win this. We're getting some, I mean, you can't tell me that Jey Uso wouldn't be a viable King of the Ring. You can't tell me Ilya Dragunov couldn't be a viable King of the Ring. And you can't tell me Gunther definitely couldn't be a viable King of the Ring. And if you think you can, then you're not a wrestling fan. No, I'm just kidding. We're not like those other channels that tell you you're not a wrestling fan if you don't agree with their opinion. I'm just saying I could take any 3 of the guys from Raw right now that are in the next round and put that King of the Ring title on them, and it would be viable, it would work, it would sell, and it would not be trying to make a King of the Ring. Now, I can't wait to see what SmackDown brings. Who is SmackDown going to bring at that same level is going to be very interesting. I mean, what happens if we get Solo Sikoa in the King of the Ring tournament. What if we get all the way to the end of this King of the Ring tournament and we get Solo Sikoa versus Gunther? Now that would be a match.
That's rough on who do you choose and who do you go with, because you really don't want to stifle either guy's momentum.
Yeah, but both of those guys, I mean, could you imagine if Solo Sikoa won the King of the Ring? What that would do for his character going forward? Not just Gunther. We know what it's going to do for Gunther being King of the Ring. But what if Solo Sikoa is now the King of the Ring? Claims himself as the, he's the King of the Ring, the High Chief, baby, instead of being the Tribal Chief. With a crown, would he not be the High Chief? Could this be an area we're moving in? And is there not a story that, I mean, who knows? We still don't know who. We got to find out Raw last night on Backlash, but they have not yet told us a single competitor in the women's or men's SmackDown tournament. So I'm very interested to see SmackDown, to see who these 8 men are going to be. I would have to assume AJ Styles is probably going to be in there. LA Knight is probably going to be in there. I don't know who else is over there off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's several names. Maybe I think Baron Corbin got drafted to SmackDown too. Could Baron Corbin be coming back into the King of the Ring tournament? Because Baron Corbin is a former King of the Ring. So I mean, there's a lot of opportunity here for a lot of names, a lot of people that would be viable. But I just thought about that. What if Solo Sikoa got in this tournament, and we got down to Solo Sikoa and Gunther? And now, granted, you don't want either of these guys to win, or either of these guys to really take a big L in this thing. But with Ludwig Kaiser backing up Gunther and Tamatanga Tongaleo backing up Solo Sikoa, at least you can have an excuse that maybe this tournament won't end in a straight up fight. That won't necessarily, you have ways out where you're not necessarily somebody losing, like a Gunther losing because of outside interference or other pieces, helping Solo Sikoa becoming the High Chief. That might be an interesting story. I mean, Gunther, I've been selling Gunther as the King of the Ring, but maybe it needs to go. I mean, Gunther doesn't necessarily need it, but it would be good for him to keep him where he is without putting him in the main event picture. But looking at what I just thought about now, fantasy booking and always having fun, if Solo Sikoa were to win that crown, he could elevate himself in a storyline to say he's the king, but to them in Samoan for a king would be a High Chief. So he could elevate himself above Roman Reigns. Who's not to say that there's not a higher power behind all this that has authority on the board to make all this happen? I don't know. I could see Gunther, and I could see where you could make a huge story and make Solo Sikoa and this new bloodline look even more dangerous by putting the crown on him and elevating him to a higher position. Paul Heyman having to bow down to the High Chief, Solo Sikoa. Could be very, very interesting. Your thoughts on Gunther and Sheamus?
I really enjoyed the Arn Anderson style psychology of pick a body part and just work on it and work on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just, I don't know how much further anyone can really put this match over.
No, it was a good match. Meltzer, is this good enough for you? Is this at least 4.5, maybe 5-star match? I mean, is it good enough for you, Meltzer, or is it because it's WWE and you can't give WWE a 5-star match, right?
Punk Uncle Dave, okay?
No, I know. Punk him. That's all I care about.
Take a move. Can we have CM Punk give Meltzer the go to sleep?
We have. Let's go one further. Let's just do the Pepsi plunge. Let's throw it back and really do it. And then my question would be, who could take a wrestling maneuver better, Dave Meltzer or Tony Khan?
I'm leaving that one alone for the moment. We'll circle back to that.
Yes, someday. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that was Monday Night Raw. A damn good show. I mean, geez. We've been waiting, and they came to play. I mean, to steal a word out of Mrs. Theme Song, WWE came to play. I mean, if you've been bored with WWE, wondering what they've been doing, we've been telling you, we've been waiting for the draft. Got to wait for the draft. We got to get through the draft. Once they reset the draft, that goes into play. We got the Backlash. Backlash was amazing. And I don't get how people can dock Backlash and say it wasn't great. The only thing that made it great was the crowd. That show was good. Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles was a damn good match. I could put that in a lot of categories. The wrestling, I mean, the triple threat between, and I don't care if you thought these matches were all scripted or easy, throwaway matches because you already knew who was so predictable. That's the key word I'm looking for. I don't care if you felt these matches were predictable. Somewhat, they needed to be predictable. We kind of knew it was going into it, but you know what? You can have predictable matches, but if you got great people in the ring telling great stories that make you wonder just the slightest if you might be wrong, that's when you got good wrestling. And when they go out there and give us great wrestling, something we just haven't seen on a lot of WWE TVs. When people are complaining that WWE is being too New Japan Pro Wrestling, I would say WWE is doing something right, not wrong. And tonight, WWE gave us wrestling. And I know people are like, yeah, WWE never enough wrestling on WWE. It's 3 hours and we get 1 hour. Boy, did you get some wrestling. You got some great quality matches. I'm not looking for quantity. I don't need 100 I don't need 12 matches in 4 hours. I'm happy with 5 matches that are good quality matches with time to breathe, time to ingest them, time to feel them. And I think tonight, Raw, probably the second best Raw of this year.
Which one would you put as the first?
Was it not the Raw after Mania that we all said was the best Raw of the year? Or was it the one before Mania? There was a Raw, one of those Raws. I think maybe it was the Raw before Mania. I think it was the last one with The Rock and everything that just killed it on every hook. But I mean, we've had some really good Raws. This Raw was a damn good Raw. It'd probably be second best. And we got Punk. Why do we not have Punk on Raw every week? I don't care if he can't wrestle or not. Getting Punk on TV and letting Punk talk. I mean, letting Punk talk on the pre-shows. Just, I mean, I could sit and watch Punk and Big E talk for an hour. You could just have them talk wrestling shot for an hour. And I think, that's what WWE needs. They need to put that on a YouTube channel. Punky. They can call it Punky. And they can have Punk and Big E some type of talk show talking about what's going on in wrestling, or whatever. Just, I mean, those two guys together would be an entertaining show. I want to see one of those ride-alongs with Big E and Punk. That would be entertaining. Just the interaction there. Anyways, is there anything else you want to say about tonight's show?
I think we're good for tonight.
Mr. Z, where are you? I haven't heard from Mr. Z. Mr. Z, where are you? Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of Mr. Z.
Our chat, you'll see what he's doing.
Oh, he's got comments in our chat, but he can't come for the big show, for the big party.
Why he's busy.
Yeah, good job. Good job. I told you how to fix that. Alrighty. So, hopefully tomorrow we'll have a New Japan Rebound podcast up for you, brought to you by Mr. Miguel Z. Mr. Z. He's working on that diligently while he's not in the chat tonight. Sad day. So that'll be up sometime tomorrow, hopefully, if everything goes well. Check that out. Check out what's going on in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Maybe Mr. Z can help you learn about New Japan Wrestling Superstars, so when they show up on All Friends Wrestling TV, you won't have to go Google it, because, the guy over there doesn't want to tell you anything. Or maybe those all New Japan Pro Wrestling guys will start signing WWE contracts where they'll be built properly. Oh, wait, no, that's right. They show up and botch their first day there. Jesus Christ. Did you see the botch on the pay-per-view? No, you only know about the botch because somebody recorded after the fact. If it wouldn't have been recorded after the fact, nobody would have known about any of it. So shut your pie hole and quit crying. Everybody wants to cry. WWE does great, and everybody still wants to cry. Anywho, Tuesdays, Rebound, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast with Miguel Z will be out, hopefully. Wednesdays, we'll be here with your Dynamite post-show. sad show. I don't know what to tell you about this week. I don't even know how to hype you about this week. It should be interesting if anything comes out of it. But we'll be here. Somebody will be here to break that show down for you. I'm waiting. You seem like you have something you want to say.
Yeah. I'm just like, for once I'm with Miguel. I still want to see Marty cover that particular show.
Well, Marty would be great to cover that show. It's just Marty's sometimes better in shorter segments than long, drawn out segments. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair too.
That's I don't know if people would listen to Marty. I don't know. We'll have to see someday if he can if I can get him in here to do this show and make that show happen. Thursdays, the weekend preview that'll come to you, which is from TNA Ring of Honor. Thursdays, Fridays, SmackDown, all the way to the next week's AEW Dynamite. And then Friday, me and Mr. Clarke will be back here with your SmackDown post-show review. And then, of course, every Sunday now at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's the Weekly Rebound. Join us in the evening after you've had your dinner, the Weekly Roundup. There you go. Sorry. It's the Weekly Roundup podcast brought to you by the Value Wrestling, where me, Mr. Clarke, and Mr. Miguel Lee all join up and we talk professional wrestling. It's now at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So after you've had your long weekend and you're ready to relax, just before you get ready for bed and get ready for Monday, you're going to join us for the fun, for the party, for the fanfare, while we break down everything going on in the world of professional wrestling from the week before. And with the way this week's starting off, there might be a lot to talk about. I don't know. Wednesday might sour everything, and we'll just hope that Friday brings it back up. So we will be there. And, of course, every day on this channel right now, you can tune in to This Date in Wrestling History, where you can learn about special events, special things that happened each and every day in wrestling history. That is on a short film and is a little 60-second clip of quick knowledge and information being thrown at you. So, welcome you AEW tryhard. As we see, 50% of the vote tonight said good solid stuff. 25% to cooking. This show was a cooking show. And 25% goes to Dynamite is the best wrestling show. So thank you, you AEW tryhard, for showing up. We're glad that you're here. We respect your opinion, even though you're wrong. You cannot tell me that Dynamite is the best wrestling show. So, sad day. Dynamite will not be better than tonight's Raw. I can already see that in the pictures. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if that's what you like, that's what you like. And we support you to like what you like, but I'm sorry to tell you, I don't think Dynamite is the best wrestling show.
Let's translate that a little bit. Say, we don't believe the collective consciousness will find it as the best wrestling show. The dominating opinion, if you will, not any one particular individual.
Hi, Tony. Thank you for coming to watch The Value of Wrestling. I know you want to vote your show as the best, and that's okay. Or is it Uncle Davey? Whoever. You can talk. You can join in the conversation. Join in the chat. There's a chat box. All you got to do is use it. You know how to use the keyboard because you hit Twitter up like it's a never-ending press release for you. So, I mean, you can join in the chat, join in the conversation, tell us how you feel, tell us what you think. Disagree or agree, it's all great. It's all gravy because we love to talk about it. So hopefully one day we'll get the interaction. No, you're going to check out. I called you out, Tony, and you ran away. What a shame. What a shame. Tony Khan may have came in.
The same tactic that Mr. Russo used.
Well, VNC Russo. Anyways, I got time to say goodnight, Faradu. Oh no, let's just milk this out for a couple more seconds. Let's go ahead and reach that hour mark. Las Vegas, Nevada is going to be the host of WrestleMania 41. We are trying to get the Value of Wrestling there. We are still brainstorming. Hopefully very soon we're going to have some stuff to help make that fruition come true. I don't know what this is going to be, but the big keys are going to be this. Make sure you go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Helps it get out in the algorithm. Ring the bell for notifications so whenever we go live or new content comes up on the air. Big Time Rants, episode 94 came up earlier today. If you want to check that out, go check that out. And check out all the other videos that are on the channel. Lots to watch. You can said on any of these playlists and get a rich and deep history of information dating back almost over a year now, a year solid of entertainment coming out in a normal pace. So check that out. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Join the Value Wrestling family. Come on, Tony. Please tell me you hit that subscribe button before you ran away, because we need your support too. But the Value Wrestling, making plans to go to WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to make our voice heard. We're going to make our claim. We got some things coming. We're cooking up some stuff. We're going to bring you some new content hopefully soon. Maybe there'll be a place to watch Sing Along with Value Wrestling. Maybe I can get my cohorts to join along in the Sing Along competition. Maybe we can sing "We Believe in Joe Hendry." Yes.
I don't know about competition. I mean, I would wind up being the William Hung of the damn group, but hey.
She bangs. She bangs. Anyways, you never know what type of competition or what fun we will have on this channel. We try to make this as entertaining as we can and informative, but if you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. Join the Value Wrestling family. We're fastly growing. We are here to be contenders, not pretenders. You can believe that. Take it to the bank, cash that check. Soon enough, we will tell you to bow down and recognize who is number one. Recognize who the tribal chief, the head of this table, is, because Value Wrestling is going to take the IWC by storm as a collective, and we're going to be the best in this space. Believe that. Because if you're not here to be the best, then what you doing here, right? Anyways, Mr. Clarke, tell the audience good night. Tell them fair ado. Tell them to get with the program.
Orderly, homies. Have a good night.